Hello everybody, and welcome back to this Let's Play of Ultima Online Season 4. This is Flying Gaming Connoisseur, and today I just want to do a video specifically for new players. So right now this is version 1.23, the game version, and so one thing that I wanted to show new players, actually one of the reasons why I decided to do this video is that lately, over the in the past, over the months and weeks that I have, sometimes been watching videos of, YouTubers doing Let's Play videos of this game. Mostly, a lot of the popular YouTubers, when they do a video, they do the new player tutorial. And one thing that I found is that a lot of them, they don't really complete the new player tutorial for some reason, and so they do a video and it's pretty much just then doing the new player tutorial, and for some reason they don't end up finishing it. And so what happens is that they do the new player tutorial, and halfway through maybe they get stuck or something happens, and then they just finish, and then they just say that that's their initial impressions, and they give their thoughts, and then that's it. They don't really sort of finish the tutorial and then look more into this game, which I have been playing for I think close to 4 years now, and I have lots of videos on this game. And so that's, I find that a lot of the YouTubers who don't really finish the new play tutorial, or they don't showcase this game a lot more, I find it's a little bit sad to see that, because this game is so much more than what the new player tutorial is there to show you. I mean, the new player tutorial is really there just to get you started, and so that's why I decided to do this video, and that is to help those of us who are new, those of you who are new to this game, and you are wanting to, find out what is there to do, beyond the new player tutorial. And so I started this video in the Tindrem Gardens because this is probably where the vast majority of the new players will start their game experience of Ultima Online. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if you're just new, if you have only your first character, if you create an account and you start your first character, I believe you will always start in Tindrem, if I'm not mistaken. And so first things first, I want to just encourage those of you who are new, when you first start out this game, please finish the new player tutorial. And this video is assuming that you have finished the new player tutorial, and you are now free to do whatever you wish. Okay, so at this point you may have already gotten some starter skills like crafting heavy robes, and I think you would have gotten taming and some other, I think, combat skills and movement skills and whatnot. And so at this point, once you finish the new player tutorial, and I'm assuming that you have, I would encourage you to actually, first of all, I want to show you this new player dungeon. Well, actually it's not a dungeon, it's just a cave, but I figured that I should probably show you where it is. So one thing that a lot of new players probably won't know is that there is a cave filled with I won't tell you what it is until I go in, just to show you. Okay, this is not the way. So if you're keen, there is an area just up there for new players. And so I want to just show you how to get there. Now, I haven't been there for some time, so hopefully I still know the way, but I think I do know the way. So you go up here, I believe you do have to go somewhat further up. You do have to yeah, it is a bit hard. Now one thing you will discover is that when you have a mount, it is a little bit hard to climb, to go uphill. So if you have a mount, it's always a good idea to get off and just run up the whatever hill that you happen to be going up in. So yes, there is a cave here. And what you will find is that it is hidden. And I have a video. I did a video on that. So it's right in here. Okay? And I won't spoil it for you. If you're keen on finding out what's actually inside, then go ahead and explore it. Because it's a lot more fun for you if you discover it for yourself. And this game is very much about exploration and discovery, so that's why I'm not going to go in there. I'm going to leave it for the new players to discover it for themselves. That way it's a lot more fun. Okay, so I'm just going to climb down. Okay. And so that's how you get to the new player cave. The cave in the Tindrem garden. And I won't spoil it for you. Alright. So once you're done with that cave, once you've gotten everything you feel like you could get out of that place, I'm going to show you where you can go next. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think a lot of players who first start out, they probably want to go into combat, hunting, and earning money through combat. And the thing about this game is that it doesn't really, show you, actually tell you where to go, and that's intended by design. Now, before I go any further, I just want to show you, in this game, there is free-for-all PvP at any time, anywhere, and there's full looting. So, now this is a Tindremic lictor, and so in this game, one thing that you need to be aware of is that if there's a place where there are no guards, then it is effectively lawless, and it is very dangerous and very unsafe for you to be there, because someone can just run up and attack you and kill you, and they might get a murder count if you decide to give them a murder count, but it is completely lawless. If an area is without guards, it is as good as lawless. So there is a Tindremic lictor over there and here, over there, like I just pointed out, and there's one here. So if you are new and your flag just went, so first when you first start out, okay, like this player, his name is Blue. When you first start out, your name would be yellow, and that designates you as a fledgling. So when you're a fledgling, no one can take aggressive actions against you, like attacking and stealing from you. However, if you do something that's considered a crime, I believe you can turn grey, and then you will be vulnerable to attack. So let me just show you where the guards are. That is not a guard there, by the way. Now there is a Tindremic lictor here, and there is another one, I believe, just over here. Yes. So pay attention to the location of guards, because when you first start out, it will be very important. And by the way, that is not a guard. So only when you first start out, pay attention to the location of guards, because you will find that you may need to depend on them, at least for some time. When you're first starting out, guards are very important, because once your name turns blue, then you are an innocent, and you will be open to being attacked and stolen from, as I am at this time. My name is Blue. And if you want to know what your social status flag is, just look to the shield here. The shield will tell you your social status flag. Okay, so you make your way out of the Tindrem garden. You talk to the guard, and the guard will open the door for you. Okay, and also I should point out that there is a Tindremic lictor that periodically patrols this route. However, he is not here all the time, so if you come through here and there are no guards, then just be careful, because combat and crime can occur in that walkway across the bridge. And so, like I said, anywhere where there are no guards, it is effectively lawless. So just bear that in mind. So as you come out of Tindrem Garden, you are in the central plaza here, and here is the bank. Now the bank is a very important place. So any item that you don't need, or anything that you can't afford to lose or don't want to lose, place it in there. And there's two Tindremic bankers here, and also another one here. Okay, now there is 3 separate banks in Tindrem. However, I will show you just the main one, and that is the one in the Tindrem bank. So assuming that you are a fighter and you wanting to earn some money and hunt things, there is a graveyard here, and there are signs to point you to it. Okay, and the graveyard is just in there. So I'm not going to show you everything inside there, because like I said, I want players to discover it for themselves. However, one thing to note is that the graveyard is very dangerous. It's sometimes sometimes red players and gankers, PvPers, they like to go in there to look for some easy combat. Well, not easy combat, but they want to look for action. And the graveyard is one common place that they go to look for action, to look for PvP. Okay, so now once you're done with the graveyard, you can come through this area, and if you've been following my video, you will know that it is just past the crafting area that I've just shown you. So now here is the Tindrem sewers, and this is the new player dungeon that SV overhauled some time ago, and I'll just show you. So you go through, take the ladders, press R to start climbing. You can use any one of the 3 entrances, or potholes, manholes I should say. Okay, so, and I'll leave that for you to discover. And one thing I should also point out is that if you're going to go into any cave or any dungeon, bring 1 or 2 spare torches and some campfires, because at some point you will run into areas which are completely dark or very, very dark. And if you don't have a torch, then you won't be able to see anything. And if a mob or an enemy player or an unfriendly, like a hostile player comes up to you, then it'll be very hard for you to fight them. Okay, so that's the two locations that you might want to have a look into if you're new, and assuming that you are a fighter. Now with this game, there is no set class or set path that you must follow. Once you finish the new player tutorial, you're completely on your own. You can do whatever you want, and you can build your character however you wish. You can craft, you can tame, you can be a mage, you can be a resource gatherer, you can be a butcher, you can be a refiner, resource. I've already mentioned resource gatherer. There is crafting, there's fishing, there's I think several hundred different skills, and I'll just stop here. So you can be anything you want in this game. You just have to be creative, and so I mentioned in my expanded Ultima Online FAQ, the question that you as the new player should be asking is not what can I do in this game, but rather what do I want to do and who do I want to be? And that is the question that you need to be asking yourself. Because this game is not a game that provides content for you. It does give you the tools, and it provides a like a foundation, a layer. It puts the towns and the cities and a big world out there for you to explore and discover. But beyond that, everything is up to you. There is no one that's going to tell you where to go or what to do. That is for you to decide. And so here is the Tindrem slums, and like I mentioned, there is 3 separate banks. So here is another. There is another Tindrem. There's another bank here, and this is separate. So the Tindrem bank, like I showed you earlier, is a separate bank. So you can store locations in that bank, and you have another bank's area for you to store your items. And that brings me to another point, is that this game has local banking, and what that means is that the items that you put in the bank in one city will not be visible, will not be available to you in another city. So if you want to, let's say you want to take your gold coins from one city to the next, well, I should say you want to use your gold coins in another city, you have to transport it over there. You can't just put it in a bank in one city and then expect to see it in the bank in another city. That is not how it works. That is what we call global banking, but in this game it is local banking. So keep that in mind. It'll save you a lot of headache further down the road if you understand how this game works. And same with local mail. The mail in this game, if you mail something to someone in one city, then it will only be there for that person in that city. So let's say, let me just find is there a Tindrem Veradari here? I think there is, but I'm not quite sure where it is in the Tindrem slums. Anyway, if you want to mail things to people, you look for an NPC called the Veradari, and so you give them 1 silver, and they will hold on to that item for you. You can send it to another person, either to another player or to your other characters. So now, like I said, it is local mail. So if you mail it to the Veradari in, let's say, Tindrem, then only the player or your character can pick it up in Tindrem. It will not be available in another city. You'll have to, if someone wants you to deliver something to another city, you will have to take the item there and put it in the Veradari in that city. Okay, and the same thing goes for chat, at least in local. So local chat is very much proximity based. It is not global. However, there is of course, the help chat is I think it is global, but it is only for helping new players. Okay, so if you are up for a challenge, if you feel like you're up for a challenge and you want to take on something extra hard, if you if you're one of those people who like to test their limits, then you come here. This is the Sunken District, and here you will find bandits. And now, while you might think that bandits are easy and you can take them on, you'll get a nasty surprise once you do, because they are not easy. So here's a place, if you're, let's say you got recruited by a guild and they geared you up and they trained you up, then you can come here and hunt the veteran bandits, the ranger bandits, and bandit leader. Alright, so I've just shown you 3 locations where you can do hunting within the city, and that is just for fighters alone. You can be other things, you can be other characters if you want, and of course if you decide to do other things, it'll take you on a completely different approach. However, Tindrem is a very big city, and there is something for everyone in this city. Not everything, of course, but let's say if you're going to be a blacksmith or a refiner, you can create steel bars, steel ingots in Tindrem, just in Tindrem alone. And so that is a good place for you to build up some initial equipment, some initial resources. But let's say you're a new player and you don't have all these extra character slots, and that's another thing. This game allows you to have up to 4 character slots per account at this present time. And when you first create an account, you only have 1 character slot, and if you want more slots, you have to pay for them. I think there is a small one-time fee of I think it's €10 or something like that. I can't remember, or it could be less. I'm not too sure. But if you log into your account, you will see the price for extra character slots. And so, if you're just starting out, one thing I would recommend that you do is get a mount. And like I said, if you've completed the tutorial, then you would have the taming skill and creature control skill that will allow you to tame other creatures. And who is this guy? Is he a thief? Alright, could be a spotter. So what is this person trying to do? Trying to snoop in my pockets, I presume. Yeah, that's always be on the lookout for thieves. You can be stolen from, you can be pickpocketed while you're mounted or not. So, and also players have come up with unofficial professions in this game, and so some players do act as spotters. That is, they have a character which is wearing nothing or wearing just the rags, and they don't have anything in their pocket, but what they do is they tell their friends, which are heavily armed and armored, they tell them your location. And so if you go out and they follow you and they manage to tell their friends where you are, then they can send their your little squad of yes. And if you get stolen from, then what you can do is push them, and the guards will take them out. See? And alright. So that's how you take out a thief if they're snooping in your pocket. And they can attack your pet as well. And I don't know how I hit my pet for 5. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a place where you can. Alright, so I recommend that if you're new, do make your way out of Tindrem and explore the bigger world, because that's one thing that I find that a lot of YouTubers who showcase this game fail to do. They either never make it out of the new player tutorial, they don't finish it, or they don't make it out of Tindrem City ever. I don't know if they do, but if they have, I don't think many of them do showcase that. They don't showcase their experiences outside the city, and as a result, what people tend to see is just them in the new player tutorial, and that is it. It doesn't really go anywhere beyond that. But there is a big world out there, and I spend quite a bit of my time out in the wild, and because that is what I enjoy. Now, you can play the game entirely within the confines of the city, if that's your sort of thing. Like, this game is very much, it's all about player choice. If you decide that you don't want to go out the city, you just want to spend your playtime in the city, then you can do that, and you can make money through crafting and through services, and of course through hunting. However, I think for other players, it would be going out into the wild and doing things, like exploring, finding new places, picking up resource gathering, and just generally see what they can discover and find out in the wild, because there is a lot out there. This is a huge world, and there's not just one continent but 2 at this present time, and they may add more in due time. So, alright, so this location here, there are donkeys, and so if you're a new player, get yourself a donkey, because that will enable you to do 2 things. You can have a mount that you can ride on, and it will speed up your travel time rather than going on foot. And another thing is that will enable you to use the donkey as a burden, as a beast of burden, as in you can put a large bag or a small bag on them, and then they can carry heavy things like carcasses. And donkeys, I think they are very well suited for that. They are able to carry large amounts of cargo in their bags. So that is one way you can. That is one thing that you can do to expand your ability to acquire wealth and whatever else that you may need to get, resources, carcasses. And here there are razorbacks. Now, razorbacks are, I would say, the first major source of income for you as a new player, if you just have one character slot. Because what you can do is you can get the carcasses and bring it back and sell it on the broker for those who are buying it, and that is what I'll show you next. Because if you just have one character, you're most likely not going to be able to do butchering, although you can if you place your skills correctly. If you train up the right skills and balance them out such that you can be a fighter and a butcher, just butchering one particular animal type. So in this game, I can go on and on about how to play this game, because this game is so deep and so complex that it would take a long time for me to cover everything. and that is not my intention for this video. I'm not going to cover every single nuance of how to play this game, but just to give the new players a starting point, if you will. Alright, so I'm just going to put my pet down, put my pet away. And that's another thing that is very important, is that you don't, is that if you log out, then make sure you are mounted on your pet if it is mountable. Make sure that you stay on your get on your mount before you log out. And there is a bug that causes you to fail to split the item. I believe that you close the bank and you reopen it, and it will fix that problem. No? Alright. Okay. So for some reason, that is a bug that hasn't been fixed. It's a long-standing bug, and I don't know why it hasn't been fixed, but let's hope that SV will fix it at some point, because it is quite annoying. Okay, so you put your pet equipment down, put them in your bank, preferably. Take 1 silver, and make sure you feed your pet. And different pets have different food preferences. Horses, for the most part, you can feed them plants, like bushes. And I'll just show you that. See, like I told you, this game is so complex. There's so much to learn. You can feed your pet these plants, and what you do is you use your gather icon to gather. You stand next to the bush, press that button, or put it on a hotbar, and press the associated button that you've assigned, and you'll gather wolf brush. And you can feed the wolf brush to your horses. Or in the case of Lacaitors, which are these, you have to feed them meat, because they are carnivorous. So you go to the equerry, and then you say, I want to stable a pet, and you click on the name of your pet, and that will put it away, stable it. Okay, and so that is how you put your pet away when it's not in use, or when you need to log out and you can't mount the pet. Because if you leave it in the game and you log out, the pet will start to lose loyalty, and it will begin to get hungry, and eventually it will die, starve to death. So that's very important. If you don't want to lose your pet, then either stable it or mount it if you can. Don't just leave it in the game, because it won't log out with you. Okay, so let's say you got some razorback carcasses. Then you go to the Tindrem broker, and you go to buy orders, and you type in razorback. Here you go. And there are people buying razorback carcasses. So what you do is you click on fill order, and then you dump the razorback carcass in here. And then you click fill order, and you will get the coins, 2 cuprum per unit. So let's say you gathered 10,000, a full stack of razorback carcasses. I believe you will get, how much will you get? I think you will get 2 gold, if my maths are correct. You will get 2 gold, and then once you get the 2 gold, dump it straight away in your bank. And I have covered this before, but for the sake of those of you who are watching this video for the first time and you're not aware of my other videos which cover this particular thing, there are 3 different denominations of coins in this game. So you have cuprum, you have gold, and silver. So cuprum is the lowest denomination, the next one up is silver, and then finally you have gold. So 100 cuprum makes 1 silver, and 100 silvers make 1 gold. Okay, now one advice I would give to all new players is that if you have gold coins, then okay, I'll just demonstrate it very quickly. I don't want to, something go wrong. But let's say you have 1 gold coin. One thing I would suggest that you do is you take it to any vendor, and what you do is you trade them for 100 silvers, or whatever amount of silvers that would break even. And so you carry your coins in silver rather than gold. Because in this game, the thieves who pickpocket into your inventory, if they pickpocket you, then it's easier for them to lift 1 gold out of your inventory rather than 100 silvers. And so what you want to do is, in the event that you get pickpocketed, that word is sometimes a little bit hard to roll off my tongue. In the event that you get pickpocketed, you want to make it hard for the thief as possible. So instead of having 1 gold, which is going to be quite easy to steal for them, you make it so that they can only lift, let's say, several silvers rather than 1 gold, so that if you become a victim of thieves, then at least you won't lose so much. So yes, in this game there is a lot of little things that you do need to learn, and a lot of it you will learn through just playing the game or learning from others. And that is how you learn how to play this game. And if you don't know this already, this is a hardcore indie sandbox game. So it doesn't hold your hand very much. In fact, once you finish the new player tutorial, it pretty much just leaves you to your own devices, and you are expected to fend for yourself. You are expected to survive using your wits, using your knowledge, and and yes, you do need to use your brains in this game. Use your brains, think for yourself. Think what you have to do to survive, and don't, yes, so do think for yourself, and don't, just expect the game to tell you everything, because it won't. If you die, then it is your fault. If it's not due to a bug or, someone cheating somehow, then it is your fault completely. So yes, do learn to take responsibility and initiative, and learn to look after yourself, because that is very much what this game is about. You make your own way in this game world, which is wide open for anyone. You are a freelancer, and you decide what you want to do, who you want to be, and so from here, I think, you go from here, and whatever you choose to do in this game, the possibilities are quite endless. Let's just to put it that way. So I do hope that you have found this video useful. And like I said in the beginning, I decided to do this video because I think a lot of players, when they first start out, they have no clue. They don't know what to do once they finish the new player tutorial, and then they just they get confused and they lose their way, and then eventually they quit. But it doesn't have to be that way. This game, once you get into it, for lack of a better word, it is very, very immersive. It is very immersive and very, very engrossing. It really does grip your interest. And like I said, I've been playing this game for almost 4 years. And that is why I have I think over 300 videos on this game over the course of 4 seasons. So yeah, do give this game another look if you're a returning player. If you've you finished a new player tutorial and then you got lost and you got confused and then quit, or maybe you didn't finish the new player tutorial. I hope that this video will help you, get you interested to do something different, to actually go out into the bigger world and explore. And and the more you learn about how to play this game, the more this game opens up to you, and it will really, it just begins to become even more interesting as you play. And it's really one of a kind. I don't know if there's another game out there that is like this, but as far as I know, this is the only one of its kind. And it could potentially be the last of its kind, because from the MMORPGs that I see these days, it tends to not follow this game's design philosophy or its spirit anymore. I don't think that there is a game that has all the features that this game has. So this game could potentially be the last of its kind. I hope not, but it could potentially be. But you know, while this game, you know, this game has never gone through any, you know, what I call, you know, reboots. To give you an example, Darkfall. There was Darkfall Online back in 2008 or 2009, and then after a while, I think there was another game called Darkfall: Rise of Aegon, and there's like another version of the game called Darkfall New Dawn or something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but this game has never had a reboot of any sort. This game has steadfastly been a one server, you know, one game world, and it's had its up and downs over the years, but it's managed to weather all of that, and it's continued to improve and expand. So I have every confidence, and I do hope, and I have hopes that this game will get better and get even bigger over time. And I do hope that, and I do have confidence that more players will come and play this game, which I very much enjoy. It is my MMORPG of choice, and I do not play, and I have not been playing any other MMORPGs other than this one. Now, of course, Star Citizen 3.0 is on its way, so I will be playing that as well. But other than that, I have not been interested in any other MMORPGs as such. So, alright, so I'll just end this video here because I think I've covered quite a bit, and this is only a small fraction of what is possible in this game. So, you know, and I myself am still learning. Even after all these years, I still learn new things. So you will never run out of things to do or learn. There will always be something for you to learn or do in this game. So yeah, hope that this video is helpful for you. And so I do hope that you will, through this video, you will reconsider this game, or give the game a bit more of a deeper look into it. Play the game a bit more, learn other things, learn how to play the game a little bit in depth. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you'll please like, comment and subscribe and share this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. This is Fine Gaming Connoisseur. Take care.